Hi guys, I am Anish Deshpande, and in this video we are going to see a game between Ratmir Kolomo versus Mikhail Tal. So in this game, Mikhail Tal is playing with the black pieces, and as you know, as usual, he shows his magic on the board. So the game starts with 1 c4. Mikhail Tal's opponent, Ratmir Kolomov, plays the move c4. Then Tal responds with e6. Then he plays his knight to c3. Then Tal plays the move d5. So as you can see here, uh, he white here wants to play the English opening with c4, but now by playing e6 and d5, black has forced him to go into the queen's gambit territory with d4. This is called queen's gambit, and if black here accepts the pawn, it is called as queen's gambit accepted. But here Tal played c6, and this is called queen's gambit declined, where you don't accept this sacrifice of the pawn. So here his opponent played knight to f3, and then Tal played knight to f6. White played bishop to g5, and now Tal accepts this pawn here. So what's the difference between accepting the pawn here and before? So here if you took the pawn, then e4, then a simple move like e3, and the bishop will take this pawn. So So here with the move c6, now after e4, oh, black can play the move b5, and black can play the move b5 and protect this pawn. So now his opponent played e5. Now he's 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 attacking the knight. The knight is pinned. If the knight moves, the queen will get captured. But black has a move here h6. In the game he captured bishop takes f6. But even if he goes bishop to h4, then you have this move g5. Then white can sacrifice here a piece like this, but he will regain his piece on f6. So this didn't happen in the game. His opponent took on f6 with the bishop. Pawn takes uh, and e takes on f6. So here if black takes queen takes f6, then this knight will jump to e4, and Tal didn't wanted to give this knight e4 option to white. So he played bishop to b4. Now this knight is pinned. So his opponent played bishop e2. Tal captured the pawn on f6, and here white castled. So now as soon as white castled, Tal took the knight on c3 because he was afraid of knight e4, and this knight is looking at the weaknesses in black's camp, like the c5 and d6 square after he goes to e4. So Tal captured it, pawn takes, and he played his knight to, and he developed his knight. So his opponent played a4. Now, as you can see, black is a pawn up and has a nice pawn structure here on this side. Yeah, this is a nice pawn structure, and white attacks it with a4. So here Tal played bishop to b7, and now this was kind of a wrong move by white. What he thought was that Mikhail Tal's king has to remain in the center. He cannot go on this side of the board, nor on this side of the board. He cannot short castle or long castle. So he thought by sacrificing one pawn in the center, he would get some attack on this king in the center. But as we'll see in the game, he was wrong. Tal took, pawn takes, and queen takes on e5. He played bishop to f3. uh, he wants to pin this pawn and take on b5, where black will be forced to take with the queen, and his pawn structure would not be very nice. Like if black plays something like rook g8, then white will take and takes, and this pawn structure is bit mangled up. So Tal played rook to d8. Now he's attacking the queen. So his opponent played his queen to c2, and Tal played rook to d3. Now white here made a mistake with a takes on b5. What he thought was that black will take back and he will win the pawn on a7, but he missed a move, and that and the move which he missed was a rook takes on f3. So if you take here g takes on f3, then c takes, then rook to g8 check, king h1, and then c takes on b5. Now he's attacking the pawn on f3, and it would be a checkmate. So the only move is queen d1, and after queen f4, this f3 pawn is lost, and white will lose his queen. So after rook takes f3, his opponent played rook takes on a7, but this position is also lost. Here black can simply play rook takes c3, and he has an extra piece on b7. If white moves his queen here, uh, black is clearly winning, as he has his extra piece on b7, which he will save. But in the game, Tal took queen takes on b5, and here white made a serious mistake with g takes on f3. What he should have done is that he should have taken on b7 and then taken on f3. But yeah, his opponent took here directly on f3. Now queen g5 check, king h1, and rook to g8. Now it's a forced mate on g2. You cannot stop this mate. It's forced mate in 3 from here. White can try some moves like rook 8 check, bishop here, queen g6, rook g6, rook g1, but finally it will be a checkmate. So guys, thank you for watching this video. Like this video and subscribe to my channel.